Hello and welcome to the EtchPlay Weekly Live Show. I'm your host this week. My name is Adam Burt and I'm thrilled to be here. It's Thursday, the 14th of October, and it's 4 p.m. right here live on Twitch or on YouTube if you're watching it on Catch Up. I'm joined today by two very special guests, and I'm going to introduce them now. We've got Flo Birchill and Martijn van der Molen from Snapfinger Click. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, pretty good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
It is my pleasure to have you here. And these guys are from Snapfinger Click, who are a game studio. You might know them as the previous, or they've worked on the Buzz video games for the PlayStation, the quiz games. And they're here to talk about Kickstarter today because they've got their own Kickstarter. It's a new card game version of a party game called Awkward that they've created. And yeah, it's very exciting. So we're going to jump into that very shortly. After that, we're going to be playing The Artful Escape today. That's our gameplay segment. It's a really fascinating game about musicality and about discovering yourself, so stick around for that. And later on in the show, Ben Joy will be here to talk about all the latest gaming news and things from the world of games, basically. If you're in the chat and you'd like a shout out, let us know. I see a couple of you in there. Hello, Tony. It's nice to see you, as always. Thanks for tuning in. And Ben's in the chat as well. He doesn't count because he's working on the show today. He doesn't count as an audience member. He's sneaking. He's playing both sides. Hello, Emma. Thanks for tuning in. And hello to Miles as well. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your time on this sunny Thursday evening, or afternoon, rather, in the UK. So let's talk about Kickstarter then. Flo and Martijn, again, thank you for coming on. I guess the first place to start is let's have the pitch. Let's hear about this Kickstarter you guys are launching, right? It's called Awkward. It's a controversial party game, is how you're billing it. Martijn, do you want to introduce it to the folks at home?
Yeah, sure. So so like you say, Awkward is a controversial party game. Originally, this has been like a small breakthrough hit for us. We won a few awards with it. It's a party game where you get asked a very divisive, controversial question. There's no right or wrong answer. It's more about getting an insight into your personality. You answer in secret, and then the other players have to guess how you answered, and they can win by guessing it correctly. We decided to, for about over 2 years, try to change it into a physical card game. A lot of subtleties, spent a lot of time prototyping, also figuring out how to manufacture a real card game, because even though we've got a lot of experience building video games, we've never made a card game before. But yeah, here it finally is.
Yeah, and Flo, I'd love to get some insight from you about crowdfunding and why you guys felt it was the right choice for this, for this party game version of Awkward and this card game. Like, why crowdfunding? What was the thinking behind that?
So as Martijn said, we have made and released 5 video games, but this is the first ever physical card game that we've ever made. It's completely brand new. We had no idea what we were doing, no idea if it'd be successful or not. So we kind of are depending a lot on our community to see how it would go, and using their support, which obviously is what crowdfunding does. And I mean, it's even so making a card game completely brand new, using Kickstarter completely brand new. So it's been a lot of learning, but I feel confident now that if we were to do another Kickstarter, it'd be a lot easier, a lot quicker, because it is. So this is the first time doing something. It's so much stuff that you don't think you'd have to think about. Yeah,
you figured out the kinks, and it looks like it's going quite well so far. You're 75% funded. It's been live for about a week, so that's really good news. I have put a link in the chat if you're interested. If you like the sound of Awkward, you can go and back it now, and you can be part of this wonderful thing. You can make Awkward a reality. Yeah, they need all your support.
Yeah.
Martijn, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you've both mentioned this, it's a big shift for Snapfinger Click to move from video games and I guess primarily digital products into a physical one. What's it like for a video games business to make that transition to work with Kickstarter? Like, has it changed the way that you operate? Has it changed the way that you approach marketing and PR? Because I guess there's you can't make it and then sell it. You almost have to sell it before you've finished making it. How's that work out?
Well, it is definitely quite a shift. But for us, because we're very passionate about multiplayer party games, and obviously all our video games are multiplayer party games, but also from a more analog perspective. We play a lot of board and card games. Flo has essentially been hired partially because of her passion for board and card games as well. So we're very interested in that. And for Awkward specifically, like the video game version was already practically a card game, or it was so incredibly close to it. But there are a few things in there where we felt like, yeah, you can only really do this as a video game, and that's fine when it's a video game, but it doesn't work so well when it's a physical game. So that took us a really, really long time to crack. And like I said before, like we prototyped it and we're sort of there now. Yeah, it's weird because with a video game, it's like, hey, you sort of work your way towards releasing it, and then it's live, and then it's like, yeah, you keep your fingers crossed and you see reviews and you see user feedback. But with this, especially when it's a Kickstarter campaign, yeah, it just goes live on Kickstarter and you just have to wait there for a month. In the meantime, like doing everything you can to promote it, but it's completely nerve-wracking. It's it's been quite a journey, so to say. And yeah, like same with like PR and marketing. Yeah, this is a completely different approach. Because we're an indie developer, we always heavily relied on our community, and we've got a great community and we're super happy with them. And like the people in that community are also like, hey, this is awesome. Snapfinger Click is doing a multiplayer party card game this time. And that's great. Like for us, I think a big advantage is that as a studio, we fully focus on multiplayer party games, and making the move from that perspective to a physical party game is actually not that big, and it's like it works well for our community, and that's sort of the part where I feel we know better what we're doing. But yeah, there's still like huge changes. Same with PR and marketing. Like we work with a PR company quite often, like based here locally in Brighton, but they're also like, Kickstarter is just a completely different
a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got to give a shout out because in the chat we've got somebody who's asking for one. They say they are known as DK in the Snapfinger Click community. Thanks for tuning in, DK. I'm sure.
Hi, DK.
Hi, DK.
Hey, DK.
Everyone's saying hello.
DK is one of our biggest fans.
One of your biggest fans. Okay, DK.
Yes.
There's your shout out. You got a special one from both Flo and Martijn. Flo, you mentioned that if you did a Kickstarter again, you'd know a little bit better what you were doing. Do you think we'll see more stuff from Snapfinger Click on Kickstarter in future? Will you potentially, because obviously a lot of video games do develop on Kickstarter as well. They come about from that kind of funding. Will we see future stuff from you on there, do you think?
Yeah, potentially. We have a couple of ideas about maybe some other board games or physical games that we could do. Now that so much of this making Kickstarter was just research. So now that that's kind of done, I've got in my head like how to really do it. But when it comes to physical games, they do really well on crowdfunding on Kickstarter. It'd be something we'd have to think about for video game, just because we have released 5 already not using crowdfunding, but it's definitely an option.
Yeah, I would love to get, because I feel like you guys have like gone through the fire of Kickstarter basically, and you've come out the other side with this wonderful shiny Kickstarter page. I'd love to, I guess, pick both of your brains about like, if there are people out there who are tempted to try crowdfunding, people who are thinking, I've got something I want to launch, whether it's a video game, whether it's a physical game, like what are some of the kind of top tips and tricks maybe that you guys have learned that you could share with people who are interested in delving into the world of crowdfunding? And maybe Martijn, should we start with one from you and we both get one?
Yeah, sure. Like we researched a lot of other Kickstarter projects as well and tried to find out how they approach it, and also just looking at Kickstarter pages of successful and unsuccessful projects and trying to learn as much as possible from that. A major part of Kickstarter is basically preparation. It's like you need to know exactly what your product is, what the cost is. You need to know that inside out before you go live on your Kickstarter page. It's like it took us about 7 months to basically figure out a whole manufacturing process from beginning to end, talking to different manufacturers, safety certificate ratings, barcodes, figure out how that works. It's a huge learning curve. And then like my top tip, and that's also takeaway for us for like if we do another Kickstarter, which we hopefully do, is instead of trying to use the formatting of Kickstarter, that the options that they support, try to do as much as possible using images, because it gives you much more flexibility, and that's one of the things that we sort of struggled a little bit with in the early days of getting our page live, but we've got that under control now.
Yeah, I guess first impressions must be really important for a Kickstarter. It's like, you can't let somebody leave. He's like, please watch this, please look at this image, and like, see how great it is, and please buy it now, or not buy it.
Yeah, we're still refining, to be honest. I think the opening text was originally like about a page long, so I just cut it down to maybe a quarter. Just keep optimizing.
And Flo, what about you? What are some of the lessons that you've learned from this process?
So I'll reiterate a point that Martijn made, the research. We spent so long just going through, because some of the most successful crowdfunding pages on Kickstarter have been for card games. So just going through and just scrolling through their pages, picking out the things that worked, picking out the things that like attracted us, comparing them to, I think I had like on my tabs, just like all these different card game Kickstarters, just going through them, making notes on which ones we could use, which ones are like relevant to us. But then also a big part of crowdfunding is, of course, your community. Kickstarter has an option that you can pre-launch your page where people can sign up beforehand, and then means that when it does go live, they get a notification. And I remember we were kind of keeping it quiet, it's like, surprise, we're doing a Kickstarter. I remember someone, a company that it might have actually been someone that worked at Kickstarter, said just talk about it now, because there's more people you get, because the campaign's only 30 days. It's all about you want to get as many people to hear about it as possible. And so we had our pre-launch open for 2 weeks. That was a stressful time of trying to make sure everything's perfect for the launch, but having that and making sure that people are aware of the game, so that then when they see it when they see the whole page when it's ready, they'll be more likely to join it. So there's a lot in like the prep and making sure the community's aware of it. If you have like an email list, sending that out to everyone, sending like a notification out to everyone that's what you're planning, you have more time to get more people, basically.
Yeah. That sounds good. And I didn't prepare you guys for this, so I feel like I should have told you this in advance. But now that we've talked about it, I can't believe I didn't pitch this in the first place. Is there a question from the game that we should ask now among ourselves and just have a little awkward session between the three of us, or just one question? Do any of you know a question that's in the game?
It depends how, because some of the questions are awkward. It depends what kind of one you want.
Yeah,
a bit risque.
Yeah, I think for awkward, it's like, because the video game, once you answer the question, you can see how the rest of the world has answered, and we captured all that data, so we absolutely looked at the questions that had sort of the most 50-50 splits between answers. Like, Flo, do you have a question that's, I guess, safe to mention?
I don't mind if you go risque. Someone else at Etchplate might care. I don't mind.
One that I always think it shows what people's personalities are like is if I think it's one that we actually use on the Kickstarter page, but it's would you rather set fire to your own house or your best friend's house?
Okay.
Yeah, there is no right or wrong answer. There's
no right or wrong answer, and you don't have to do it. Pineapple, DK said pineapple on pizza. That's one of our most controversial ones as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big yay on pineapple on pizza. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
your team pineapple.
Nay. Yeah.
Are you allowed to put the fire out? Is it, or you've got to burn their house to the ground?
So that's the thing. Yeah, no, their house is ruined. So you either choose to ruin your house or ruin your best friend's. What are you going to do?
I would ruin my own house. I don't have it in me to destroy somebody else's well-being. I would tear myself down 10 times out of 10 before I hurt somebody else if I could help it.
See, that shows, and it shows you get to know. It's a big icebreaker, this game.
Yeah.
You get to know people's personalities, their morals, their principles straight away.
Yeah. And pineapple on pizza, I do like sometimes, but it's not my favourite. I wouldn't usually order it. But if I was at a party and there was some Hawaiian pizza, I would probably still have some.
Okay. So you're interesting. You're in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Would you burn your own house?
So I said,
this is the start of a sentence where someone's going to say they're burning down their friend's house.
My reasoning of why I would burn my best friend's house down is that I know that I would be very welcome. I'd let them stay at my house, and I would.
So kind.
Yeah, would they want to after you were the arsonist who destroyed their lives?
So I was thinking that if my friend burnt down my house, I don't know. No, if I burn down my house, I don't know if my friend's gonna let me stay at their house. I don't know if they'll help me get new stuff. I don't know what they'll do, but I know that if I burnt my friend's house down, I would invite them to my house and I would buy them new things.
Right. So
and even if I had it, I'd buy them a new house. It'd be an upgrade.
Yeah, there's an altruistic motivation there, even though it sounds like you just like burning stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the link in the chat again if anyone wants to check this out. I think it's a great idea. It sounds really awesome. Like I say, already over 70% backed, so hopefully well on its way to getting full funding before the end of the 30 days. And where can people find out more about you guys, about Snapfinger Click? Flo, are you on Twitter?
Yep, so we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as also at SnapFingerClick. We also have a Discord that you're welcome to join. We also stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 6 until 10 p.m. UK time. There's also, of course, our website, www.snapfingerclick.com, where you can find all the information and links to all of those social medias if you're interested. And yeah,
cool.
You're welcome to join us with everything that we do.
Yeah, everyone check it out at 6 p.m. tonight, I guess, if you're on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Martijn, what about you? Are you on Twitter? Can people follow you specifically if they want to?
Yeah, they can. Yes, Dogman on Twitter. Long story. Ask me in our Discord if you want to know more. Yeah, like quite a few people in Snapfinger Click are very active inside the Snapfinger Click Discord, which is discord.gg/snapfingerclick. So it's pretty easy to find and join. And it's quite a friendly community there. So come join us, come check our stream, check on TikTok, etc.
Yeah, thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Thanks so much.